Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerds Fun 5 started playing paintball in 1992. He went pro in 2005 with Trauma. He's played for Gridlock, Mayhem, XSF. He plays the 10-man mechanical leads with Gridlock and KAPP Factory. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, John Tinker.
Hey,
What's up, Tink?
what's up?
Yeah. Dude, stoked to have you.
I'm super duper excited, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
Are you gonna share all the dirty secrets about Trauma? Are you gonna just let it all fly right now?
I mean, there could be some secrets. I don't know. I think Dave and Tyler have covered a lot of them, but there are some dirty secrets that maybe should just say secrets. I suppose.
Okay, all right.
It all depends on the questions asked.
Sure. Well, tell us about your latest experience in 10 Men with KAPP Factory.
Latest experience with 10 Man and KAPP Factory. So that was KAPP and I played 10 Man with Gridlock back in the day for a long time, and KAPP was one of those teams that we always played against. And it was like I wouldn't say it was a rivalry, but we were always competing against each other, and we played each other many times. And that group of people, like I felt like we had a really good respect level. We liked everybody on that team, and we never got into arguments with those guys, and it was always really cool before we went on the field and really cool after we went off the field. Even no matter what happened on the field, it was one of those friendly rivalries, I guess. And finally, getting to play with the gold chain and play with the group that is KAPP Factory. A lot of the guys that were playing with that, and then the old pros, the current pros, and just to be there and be able to wear like that iconic jersey and play with you. I mean, dude, it was an experience. I enjoyed every minute of it. I know like I go in to win things. I really want to win, and I try really hard to win, but as I've gotten older with it, I really think that the experience is part of it, and having that group of players that I've always played against and rarely ever played with any of those guys. I mean, LB and Andy have been around for a long time, coming to Greensboro with Trauma, and we played against them in Greensboro. We may have played some crazy games in the woods here in Greensboro, but I've never played on a team with, I don't believe, anyone that I played with in Tennessee with KAPP. And that was awesome. Roy moved to North Carolina, and we started talking and bringing him up to play, and it was a blast. Like we didn't finish the way we wanted to by any means, but the experience there was awesome, and I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciated the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, man, we had an amazing time there, and it's like you said, it's like playing with people that you've always played against and wanted to play with, but just it wasn't in the cards because whatever reasons. Yeah, that's one of the coolest things about 10 Man is coming back and just playing with the boys, playing with people that were like your highest level of competition that you played against, and just
for sure,
hanging out and playing some mechanical, dude. It's a blast.
I love it, man. And that's honestly, I took a break from paintball, and I know that everybody started doing it out in Chicago, and then went to Pittsburgh. But Lane threw one in 2017. Lane Wright. I know everybody watching this knows him. If they don't, they need to know who he is. But he did his tournament in 2017, and a whole bunch of guys that weren't playing paintball anymore all cobbled together some barely working autocockers and bought some new guns, and we went down and played that. And man, we had a blast. Some of the guys hadn't played but that one event since we started playing 10 Man again, but 10 Man, it's awesome. I really enjoy it.
I actually got to play with Lane 2 years ago at the Pittsburgh event, the Iron City Classic.
Yeah, y'all were staged like right beside us almost, I think.
Oh yeah, so you saw us get mowed all weekend.
I did watch a game or two, and I did watch those a couple games, yes. But it seemed like everybody in the staging area had a really good attitude about it. So, and
It was fun times, dude. It was just it's like it was just great to play with everyone, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Posey was out there, and Posey played with us in Tennessee, so it's cool
yeah,
to have him out.
yeah. He almost he missed the back of my head a couple times. Very, very. It was very. Yeah, yeah.
Well, John, tell us about your favorite memory in paintball.
My favorite memory.
Hmm.
Like I've watched some of your interviews and I've seen you ask people that, and I'm like, man, it's gonna sound cliche to say winning an event, I guess, but like when I joined Trauma, and I'll say this, and a lot of people don't know this, but I mean, I was offered during the 10-man days, and when they first went to X Ball, Rob actually offered me a spot with them, but I was just kind of one of those that I started something with Gridlock, and I was trying to finish it, I guess, and I just didn't make the move until 2005, and he asked again, and I was like, you know what? Yes, I do want to. And we played really hard, and Gridlock and Trauma back then always had like a good rivalry. We got beat up quite a bit because they got a lot of young kids that were just really good at paintball. Tyler and Dave Faison, Duder, just a bunch of guys that were really good at paintball, and Rob ran a good ship, and we always battled each other, but they made that squad and made that group of guys better. And just at that point in 2005, I decided I want to play on that team this time, give that a go and see how it went. And after a couple of events, going to World Cup and being a part of that, and winning World Cup in 05 was, I mean, that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in paintball. The dedication and the drive, like starting that season up. That was one of the best experiences. As weird as this one's going to sound, like playing 10-man back in the day, we never actually won an event. We made the finals multiple times. We were always in the semifinals, but we never won an event. We were always so close. And KAPP was, a lot of times ahead of us. And but one of my best memories is a very recent memory, and that was playing with Gridlock in the CFOA 10-man here in Greensboro, which is hometown, home field. And Roy came and played with us, and that's a mix of legitimate, original 5-man Gridlock members that have been around since 97, 98, with Trauma players and Tampa Bay Damage and Crisis guys, or the old Crisis guys. And we actually finally won a 10-man event. That was the first 10-man event I've ever won. And like, not for nothing, that was an incredible experience for me, because I'd been wanting that for so long and never had it. Like, I'm not making light of anything X Ball or winning World Cup, because that was an experience in and of itself. But prior to that, I'd won 5-man events and done real well. But winning a 10-man event with a bunch of your friends that you started playing tournaments with, really, that awesome. That was pretty awesome. And and some of the Trauma guys have been around since I started in paintball. Rob and a couple of the other guys had been around, and honestly, some of the guys were really kids, but like getting to play with some of them was pretty awesome. That whole experience was fantastic, and old memories and new memories are my favorite memories now. The winning those events and then winning this most recent one, those are some of my most memorable paintball moments. I know that's for a specific one, but I can't pick one.
Well, I'm tossing my hat in the ring. Next time you guys play, invite me out. I'd love to play with you guys.
You're not that far away. You're not that far away.
No, I'm not. So what's your favorite format? Like, you've played them all. What, you got to have a favorite, right?
Yeah. Actually, I was watching Frank's interview earlier today, and he said paintball came from the woods, and I agree with that. Like when I found paintball back in the 90s, like the early 90s, I was playing pump class out in the woods like Dave Faison was. Matter of fact, same field that he played at, and and I played before that, but everything was pump guns. And everything was in the woods and wearing camouflage and sneaking and just not knowing what was going on, except for there's a flag over there. We've got to go get it and bring it back. 10-man, 5-man, even 7-man all have that aspect. Granted, they're not in the woods, but 10 man has got to be probably my favorite format. Close behind that are 7 man and 5 man in the classic style, like mechanical. Like, I know these guns shoot faster, but just you can't just ramp on the guns. You know what I mean? You can't just hold a stream as easily. It takes more finesse. And then typically, not always so far, but typically the fields are a lot bigger. So you get to actually, make a push on one tape versus the other where they don't really see what's happening until all of a sudden you've rolled them up the side and you're coming up behind them, that kind of stuff. That just, and you need some small fields just for fast and fun, but like 10 man, 7 man, 5 man, those are my favorite formats. I do enjoy X-ball though. I do enjoy it. I'm getting a little old for it, I guess, maybe, but I'm still going to go out there and put it all on the field. So I enjoy paintball, but I'm going to say mechanical is my favorite.
Yeah. And like, I think there's some guys that are up there in age that are still getting it done in the X-ball format.
Yeah. Shane Howell.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit older than me, and I don't really know him, but he's kind of like an idol in a way,
Yeah, totally. And like the Dynasty dudes, like they're old
for sure. Yeah.
Like, and they're killing it.
Ryan is still killing it. Yosh and they're at Alex. I mean, they're out there just carrying on and playing better than they, as good as they ever have.
Exactly. So it can be done, right? But I feel like but I just feel like I really like you mentioned, where you can be sneaky and blow out a tape and like come around, and I miss shooting fast being a skill set. You remember when everyone couldn't shoot fast? And you're like,
oh yeah,
you saw players like, oh, that guy can shoot fast, and it was like a skill set that not everyone had.
Or the other guy just over there with Autococker, just getting it as hard as he can, shooting just barely at all. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
and you could crawl. There were crawling lanes. You could crawl through a gully or use a tree to block out a 20-yard crawl. Like
tree drill.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome.
So I'm with you, man. I love those things too, and it's like one of the most appealing things about paintball to me, right? And I'm not everyone, but one of the most appealing things to me is being sneaky and outsmarting your opponent. And though that is ever present in 10 man.
I really like finding those areas, and for favorites, I guess like Woods Ball and Hyperball are going to be what I would say would be my favorite field is. I really like Hyperball. I like the sound of it, the spray. I don't like getting shot through cracks very much, but just the sound of it, the grandeur of that big field, that's really cool. But being able to find those lanes that are able to be blocked out, and then walk through somewhere, or like I said, crawling, and you can find that even on some hyperball fields. You can just block out. Sometimes you can block out, a quarter to a half of the field and make a move somewhere, and they don't know. Granted, you can do it on airball, but everybody gets to practice and figure that out.
You know what I wouldn't mind, Tink, is just a big airball field. Like, when's the last time someone played like a big 10-man airball field? That's gotta come back at some point,
Yeah.
We do it in the woods, we do it on hyperball, but there hasn't been like a throwback, early 2000s 10-man airball field. In fact, I think the last time 10-man was played on an airball field, all the bunkers were connected by those, those little tubes that connect.
Well, I think they've done it at World Cup a few times.
Have they?
Recently. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Play those, but
yeah, in fact, I played one recently.
Yeah. Now, shameless plug, Paintball Central is doing the throwback in June, on June 4th, I think it is. A retro 5-man is what Tyler's calling it. And it's going to be hyperball and airball only. And he bought one of those big NXL pyramids. And so they're going to try to build a legit, like, just straight up airball 5-man, or, it's not the size of 10-man, but it's going to have a bunch of bunkers, and, that'll be fun. So,
yeah.
Not quite
10. So that's going to be at Paintball Central?
Yeah. There's registration still open on it, and I believe it's relatively inexpensive, but it's mech. mech or electronic with, limited, very low rate of fire and semi. So like
You know
shooting
what's
forward or
funny?
something. Yeah.
Is like, okay, so when you play with an electronic gun in a mech tournament, it's capped at like 5 balls a second, right?
Yeah.
But but a mechanical gun, most of them can shoot faster than 10.5 balls a second, which is the KAPP and X
Yeah.
ball right now.
Yeah. I
You
feel
know?
like, some of our guys, when they first started, wanted to use like their electronic guns, but they're like, nah, it's just not going to work. You guys are out shooting us. So,
Yeah.
and
Well,
to be fair,
Blake
Autococker
used
is keeping up.
Blake used his electronic gun when he played with us in Tennessee.
Yeah, he did. And,
He's like, bop, 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 bop.
it did not seem to bother him at all.
No, it didn't.
But, Devin ran his mechanical frame.
Yep.
And yeah, I would say he was one of those that could achieve that high rate of fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's excuse me. I have somebody being grumpy over here.
Nice.
But
so yeah, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, with autocockers and stuff like those guys, some of those guys could really get on it, and especially if you were running a shock tech or a free flow or one of Caesar's guns or something like that, you could really, those guns could roll.
Yeah, I love autocockers, man. Just like,
yeah,
these days they're kind of outgunned with the Planet Eclipse mechs and the Lux mechs and the Shocker mechs.
Yeah.
Like they can't, autococker can't compare, but like there's something very, I was talking with Chris Corsino about it, and it's like a rooted feeling, like it feels like you're planted, like it's like you're connected with the paintball gun. It's like you're working together to get that paintball out of the barrel, and
yeah,
the autococker is demanding perfection out of you. You got to pull that trigger with an intentionality all the way back, let it all the way forward, or else you're going to short stroke it. So I think it'd be cool if there was an all autococker tournament too. That would be a cool equalizer.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Might be a little cost prohibitive these days with all the old ones running up in price, but I definitely think it'd be cool. I've got one upstairs. It's nothing fancy, but it's a Black Magic that PGP sold me a couple years ago.
You could probably sell it for like $1,500. Like you said, the prices on them are outrageous now.
Yeah, but they do shoot good.
Yeah,
and Saransky shows that you can still kind of keep up with them.
Yeah. That's Saransky though. He's a special breed.
Yeah. It weirded me out not seeing the 3 stripes on that last gun he was using though. I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, I was like, what is he using? So yeah, he apparently all those 3 stripe guns were Renix, and he just used them. Yeah,
okay,
that's what he told me. Which is interesting. But when you think of Billy Saransky, right, you always think of the 3 stripes.
Absolutely. The first time I ever saw him play was at World Cup, I think maybe 2000. And he ran up and shot a kid in the face, probably from like 2 feet away with that gun. So it was seared into my memory. It's the first, that was, yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Well, who's your favorite teammate of all time? Of all the people that you've played with, could be recent, could be from long, long ago. Who's your favorite teammate?
Favorite teammate? Man.
You pick a couple.
I can pick a couple. Okay, because I can't throw me in front of that big of a bus. There's been a couple guys. I'll say a couple guys real quick that like I played paintball with, like I said, since the '90s. Shannon Monroe and Alan Barker. You may not know them, but they've been around with me playing paintball on and off through the years for like I said, for over 25 years now, and just super awesome guys. But like Tyler, Tyler Humphrey, Ken Barrett, those guys were awesome teammates. Tyler was a lot of fun. Great paintball player, real smart, and to this day we're still friends, obviously. But we got to travel the country and see a lot of things together. Stephen Porterfield's a really cool guy. Matter of fact, he's an adult now with kids, but
Yeah.
we used to go around the events, and I would just pretend like he was my son. It was kind of funny. Uh, yeah. But it was that whole group of guys. Like I can't really pick a specific dude out of that was like my favorite teammate, because I felt like there was a couple of the younger kids. I wasn't quite in that clique, but like there's everybody on those teams was just like a big family. Like everybody took care of each other. Everybody was at each other's weddings, and so
Mm.
the group that I got to play with throughout the years was a pretty tight knit community. Like even when you talk about the whole gridlock and trauma thing, like we weren't not everybody played for everybody, but we were around together for a long time. And a lot of those guys, there's some of them I don't talk to anymore just because they've moved away or changed their what they do in their life, and we just don't talk anymore. But as far as the vast majority of those guys, they're all still around, and they might not play paintball anymore, but we'll play Xbox with them, or see them at somebody's wedding and stuff, or just running each other around town. So I had a lot of really good teammates that I can't really pick a favorite.
Let me give you an easier one. I'll give you an easier one.
Okay.
So you mentioned, something being seared into your memory. You saw
Yeah.
Billy Saransky, shoot a kid 2 feet away with his 3-stripe autococker.
Yeah.
So here's an easier one. Who is your most favorite player to watch of all time?
Gosh, you made that way easier. Way easier. Of all time?
Of all time.
I mean, just a quick one. I'll go with Chris. I mean, dude's always been entertaining, always smiling. He's always, he played on trauma for a short time period. And he was my roommate. I told you about that. Just at one event though, but he was a really nice guy. That's probably one of my favorite entertaining players of all time. There's a lot of others. You don't want me to say what one, but Tyler was always fun to watch because that dude would take a snake like a champ, like just hitting the bunkers, doing flips. I mean, he always made those. And then Frank was always entertaining to watch too.
So just to be clear, you're talking about Chris Lasoya, you're talking about Tyler
Chris
Humphrey,
Lasoya,
you're talking about Frank Connell.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite players to watch play paintball.
Yeah.
I've already said Billy Saransky, so I'm not going to give him another plug.
No, don't give him another plug. His head's big enough already.
Yeah.
Those are good ones.
Yeah,
okay, how about go ahead.
I didn't think about that question, honestly. So I was like, I don't know. There were so many good players back then to watch, and Timothy Probst I really liked that guy. He was really cool, and Carthy too, actually.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Carthy?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he was always one of my favorite players. Like just a super, like some of the guys I wasn't very close with or anything. We just saw each other at events, but just always super friendly. Always, saying hey and reaching out and just being a genuinely nice guy. And then on the field, he was a killer. It was awesome. He was an awesome guy. So yeah.
Carthy was my favorite dude on Strange, and I haven't seen him at events. I don't really see him like on social media or anything like that. So I always wonder what happened to him because he was really good at paintball.
I don't know. We talked a couple years ago, and I just I don't know. I don't know.
I interviewed Jolly, BJ, and also Dirty Dave.
Yeah.
So it was cool to hear from those guys.
Yeah. Are either one of them still playing?
No. So no. BJ does shooting sports like with real guns, like time trials and stuff like that.
Like USPSA and stuff like that. Yeah.
And he also does like some kind of survival classes, I believe. And Dirty, he's in some kind of sales. I forgot what he does right now.
It's probably in his interview, and I can watch that.
Exactly. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
So, John, what's your most cherished paintball item that you have?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with two here because you said I
Yes.
didn't have to have one, and I'm not gonna pick one of just about anything, I guess, because I felt kind of bad about that because I'm like, man, there's so many great players and so many great friends and so many great times I've had. It's so hard to pick.
Yeah.
But so this headband, it's an old Gridlock headband. Does it
Ooh,
look white?
it looks
Does it
white
look
and
white?
orange.
Yeah, well, it used to be black, like the bull denim, like the old JT pants.
What?
And yeah, you can kind of see it there.
There it is.
Um,
Wow.
and red, that's supposed to be red. It is still kind of red. The light might
Yeah,
be
it's red.
one of his
Yeah.
favorite, but it's got to the point where like all the threading is coming apart. It's not as bad as Tyler's was, but it's coming apart. And I just kind of I wore this from 2000. Uh, yeah, like I've had it in my gear bag since 2000. And just this year, I kind of stopped wearing it a little bit because I don't know. I just kind of wanted it to last a little longer and not get too much more tore up. But it
Yeah.
goes with me to all the events.
That's dangerous. What if you lose your bag? You got to
Yeah,
frame it.
I've thought about that, but it's kind of one of those things. Like it's not really a lucky charm or anything, but I just kind of like having it with me. It's pretty cool.
Totally. That's badass.
Yeah, the other thing, and this is going to seem, I don't know how this is kind of. I'll call this a little dorky. This is a third place trophy. Third place trophy for a pump tournament
3-man.
in 1997. This was my first tournament ever, and I won it with I won it. I finished third with my brother and another friend back in the day. And that's the only tournament my brother's ever played. He's
Wow.
only ever randomly played paintball, so that means a lot to me. First tournament ever, and I got to play it with my brother.
And
And
you got third place. That's an impressive feat for your first competitive event.
yeah, I don't know how good anybody there was for that event because we were terrible, but but for one of those things is a memory, and he's got his trophy too, and it's kind of I don't know that's absolutely one of my most cherished paintball items. But the headband's up there, you know what I mean?
They're both awesome. What kind of guns did you use at the 3-man?
It was a pump tournament, so I guess like a Kingman hammer. I didn't have a
Yeah, the
fancy one
hammer.
back then. Yeah,
There
just
was
a
the
hammer.
hammer P, and then the hammer A. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember which one of them it was, but
I think the only difference is one of them had like a bottom line or something.
yeah, it wasn't that one. I had like a 7 ounce on it or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
one, dude. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
And
That was
your brother
that was
doesn't play paintball anymore?
nah. He'll occasionally do it. He got too busy traveling the country, so
Yeah.
for work and stuff. So, but maybe I'll get him out again sometime.
There we go. Well, John, what are you most thankful for that paintball's given you in life?
That's easy, right? Like it gave me a group of friends that I really don't have outside of. I mean, I have a lot of friends, right? And I have some close friends, but paintball has given me some of those friends that have been around for I had some friends from back in the day, but like this group of friends, like you can go anywhere in the country, and I feel like I could go anywhere in the country and make a phone call and have a safe place to stay if I need to, or a friend to take me out on the town. The group of friends, the camaraderie that you have going to the events, like seeing you in Tennessee, and man, we haven't seen each other in how long? Well, let's not count
At least 10
Pittsburgh.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then like I've seen some of those guys at Pittsburgh and stuff, and it's like it's been said before, it's like we don't skip a beat. It's we're older, we got gray hair. Some of us have a little gray hair, but that group of friends and the camaraderie, and then just the smiles and the happiness. Like Frank said, and I say this just because I was watching the interview. He's like, people hug each other. I'm like, dude, you hug so many people that you're like, man, what's up? 10 years since I've seen you. Come here, you know, and then,
Yeah.
you know, you get people like Rocky that are just genuinely just like, they'll run across the parking lot to come say, hey, you know,
Yeah.
and it's also given me a lot of experience. I've traveled the country, you know, like I've seen a lot of things that I probably would not have seen without paintball.
True.
I've had a lot of experiences with it. You know, it was my job for 16 years. You know, it was my living. Um, so I gained a lot of experience in life through paintball. You know, not just a lot of good friends, but just good life experiences that
Mm,
have personally, I think they've aided me in my life now. You know, like making things better,
certainly.
understanding how things can work, and you know, and I'm just most thankful in paintball for the group of friends that I have, because you know, like there's thousands of them, and you
Yeah.
know, a lot of them are really really tight friends, and then but all of them are friends.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
agree, man. That's the most beautiful thing about our
yeah,
sport is the people that you meet. You know, everyone's like
yeah.
minded, and it's just
You know,
if
Roy
only
moved
that.
into Charlotte, you know, and it's like we used to talk a little bit back in the day, but not a whole lot. But it's like it was like we'd known each other our whole life almost. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing,
Yeah,
man? Oh, nothing. We just moved to Charlotte. Come up and play paintball with us and have fun. All right, I'll be there. You know, and then
exactly.
you know, like yeah,
It's like
like that's what
instant
it's like.
camaraderie. You know,
Yeah,
it's like uh, in any other context, right? These people would be acquaintances,
yeah,
but in paintball, it's like you're friends, like you're
yeah.
friends right away. You know, so yeah,
And
no
you've got
way.
this common goal. I don't think it's. I don't know how it is in other sports. You know, like I've never played in the NBA or the NFL or anything like that. Those
You
guys don't.
haven't?
No, I believe it or not, you know, I don't possess those skills. Um, but that, you know, I just don't see those other sports having the same type uh of camaraderie at events.
Yeah,
You know, that you don't see. We go to events and we see, you know, when you play pro, there's 20 other pro teams there, and you can be friends with all of them.
yeah,
And you know, like on the field, it's all gloves. You know, gloves are off, and you're gonna bury each other if you can. But off the field, you know, like a few minutes after they've cooled down, you know, like you're best friends again. And I think
yeah,
that's one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced, because you don't really have that in other sports. I don't think, you know, like I never experienced that in other sports when I was growing up. You know, like we were all friendly, but it was like, yeah, good game, good game. But in paintball, it's like, yeah, we beat you, but you know, you guys did, you know, you guys played really well, and like, is everybody going to Sun on the Beach tonight? You know,
yeah.
I don't even know if that place
uh,
is still there, but
I don't know if any I don't know if many people will get that reference. Well, people watching this will get that reference, but the younger
I,
guys won't know
yeah,
what that
I
is.
hope some of them, you know, like, and you know, yeah, that to me is just like one of the most special things about this, is that we've been so competitive, but we all are able to hang out together and
Mm,
be friends, you know?
yeah, awesome. Well, John, man, thank you so much for your time here. Is there anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
You know, I didn't really put anything together for this, but you know, uh just have fun with it, you know? Like I know there's a lot of people out there trying to win and you know, be competitive, and I'm still super duper competitive, but like, you know, just I don't know, man, just try to go out there and have fun. Play paintball with your friends. Play paintball against your friends. Try to win. But
Yeah,
you know, this sport is so cool for being able to create such a massive group of friends, and uh, while you know, giving people that competitive drive. You know, like and go play pro. You know, if you want to go play pro, like go practice a lot, and go try out for teams, man. Nothing's holding you back, really. You know,
yeah,
this is one of those sports where if you want to go pro, just put your heart into it. I know it takes a little bit of money, but you know, you can figure out a way to make that grind happen, and you can go pro if you want to.
for
um
sure.
yeah, but you know, just I guess keep at it, and just remember that, you know, like all of us have that same drive and same heart, and want to be involved with it. It's a it's a big family. So
Absolutely.
support each other, you know, support Paintball Nerd, Sunday paintball central, and like just support all your local fields and stores, and try to play keep growing it as much as you can, bring friends and tell friends about it, and just
let others people see why we love this sport so much,
Yeah, exactly.
Grow it.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to spit out there, but you were much better with your words.
Awesome. Thanks, Tink.
Zyzek, take care, buddy.